get used in commercials and shit. So because it lasts longer, you got more time to play with it before it like disappears. As that's the other thing too, is when a barista starts practicing with latte art, they usually start with soap because it gives you a bit more time to play with it, and it also doesn't waste milk, obviously. That's sweet, but nature soap is sounds like a prank, but I want to get milk down, drink it anyway when I fail, anyways. Yeah, no, it's not a prank. It's legit. If you do a Google search on how to practice doing latte art and stuff, or what do what do you call it? What are film crews and stuff like that, or commercials and stuff use for milk? It's what they use. I understand it sounds like a joke. I honestly probably reacted the same way the first time, but then again, like you know that like in commercials, a lot of meat is not actually cooked. It's literally just like colored to make it look like it's cooked. Obviously, the shit that people bite into, like actual food, is cooked and stuff. But like, yeah, a lot of it is just painted or dyed to make it look better, so that it will stay longer underneath the lights and shit. Yeah, yeah. It's always a fucking surprise to like learn this shit because it's just like it seems so legit until you learn this, and then you're like, oh my god, you know, um, how did I never notice this? But it's much the same consistency. Like, did you know that ice cream in commercials is usually potatoes, smashed potatoes? Because it doesn't melt, obviously, and it has. I'm talking about like the scoop of ice cream, not like a soft serve. Yeah, yeah. So, yeah, if you Google that one, same thing. It's just like, oh god, for real. But yeah, I don't know if I wanted to have a leg sticking out here. Maybe. See if I can rotate it. Give me this. Let me move you down to here. How do I feel about that? Look, I felt the same. I initially learnt of this. It was something where I'm like, I probably could have lived a happier life not knowing. But at the same time, once I did know, it was pretty cool to know. You know, it looks more like where she would have a foot. I don't know if it would be bigger or smaller. I do not like coffee, but I really want to learn latte art because I find it really cool. That's fair. You have to like drinking something as long as you enjoy the creativity of it, you know? At least that's how I sort of see it. And there's nothing wrong with enjoying something but not actually liking to like eat the thing. This. Maybe they want to serve it. Yeah. No, I kind of get your drive for like wanting to create something that looks nice like that. Um but like latte art also takes a while too. It's not something that you just pick up straight up overnight. It takes a little while to learn it. Songs. Yeah, it's fine. Just want to move that over a bit more. Or I need to make it smaller or something. Sure. Looks like where it should be. Yeah, no, that's better. That's so much better. After 14 years, I gave her a foot. All right. Yeah, no, that works better for me. I'm gonna have to redraw that. I keep getting tasked to make coffee or tea for people. Usually, it's not something. What did I click on then? Undo that. Not something I use, and usually it's not something fancy, but I want it to be. You got to remember too, it's just because you want it to be fancy doesn't mean that. Like you got to be thinking of the person that you're also giving that tea or coffee to. Like when I practice how to do latte art and stuff like that, I remember making like latte art for I think my dad, and he just wanted a flat white. Like, he didn't want any like chocolate in his coffee. He didn't want any foam. He just wanted a very specific tasting coffee. So even though I wanted to make it and I did make it for him, like it wasn't a nice coffee to him because it wasn't what he wanted to drink. So when you make like tea and coffee for people, you've always got to be mindful of other people's tastes. Like I don't like a lot of milk in tea, but one of my best friends years ago basically liked her tea with milk, basically, or her milk with tea in it, kind of thing. So it was more milk and lukewarm, and that's how she loved it. And so when she made me a cup of coffee, tea or whatever, sorry, it was the worst tea I've ever had. But I still drank it because obviously I wanted some fucking tea. I wanted to drink. But from my perspective, like when I made her my tea, she was like, "Can I have more milk in it? I like more milk in mine." And I'm like, "I know you do." Yeah, so there's all kinds of different tea. At the time we were drinking black tea. So black tea is kind of strong. It's kind of like a caffeinated tea, a little bit like a coffee, but it's much clearer kind of thing. And generally a bit sweeter but bitter at the same time. There's also like green tea, there's floral teas, there's powdered teas. Um, there's teas where like the basis of it is not water. There's teas where like the basis is water. Like for instance, a brown sugar milk tea. Like that's more like tea liquid is added to sugary milk, for instance. So there's all kinds of different teas and coffees and stuff. My pretty much like only advice, because I used to make a lot of like teas and coffees myself, like independent to baristering, is find out what the person likes. Like find out how the person that you're making a tea or coffee for likes their tea or coffee, and then remember it. If you always make like a really nice tea or coffee for them, they'll always appreciate it. They'll always be like happy to obviously ask if you'd make them a tea or coffee or something, because you'll make it to the way that they like the drink. Like I think of it very much like if I make a coffee, my coffee is really dependent on the day. So sometimes I like milk in my coffee, sometimes I don't. Sometimes I like sugar, sometimes I don't. Sometimes I like a lot of sugar. Depends on what I need. Sometimes I like multiple scoops of coffee, you know? Um, as I said, it really just depends on what I need that day or what I feel like drinking. Obviously, I'm a complex little creature, so trying to make me a coffee is really just like just ask kind of thing more than take a guess. But most people don't change their palate for teas and coffees. Like once they find one that they like, they stick to it. And be mindful of the fact that some people don't know how to make a coffee or tea to how they like either. So like if they say, oh, they like black coffee with like sugar in it, for instance, like adding sugar before or after the coffee, the temperature of the water that you add, it all makes a difference in how that coffee actually ends up tasting. Also, the brand of the coffee matters too, because like they might have a preference. for a specific taste, which is why like baristas and stuff obviously work with like multiple different like roasted beans and like different types of milk and all sorts of different kinds of sugars and sweeteners and stuff. Because obviously not everybody's the same. Not everybody likes the same thing. So like that's all I think of with that. Because like I don't know. I know how to make myself a decent coffee. I also know how to make a standard run of the mill, same every day barista coffee. Coffee is such a chemistry. It is. That's why like people that really enjoy coffee tend to get like really heavy into the deep science of it because there's a lot to it. Like some people will go out of their way to get like special equipment that helps them brew the tea at the temperature that they like. Other people will go out of their way to get a specific roast of tea. Um, you know, it's a lot of trial and error. The other thing too is when you start doing art and stuff, usually in not all cases, but in a lot of cases, a lot of people that enjoy art on their coffee don't care so much about the flavor of the coffee. Um, it depends on the art though. If it's really cute, very pretty, detailed stuff, they don't give a fuck about the taste. If it's very basic, simple, like make like the leaf or like make a swan or something art, they might care about the taste of it. So that's another thing. But obviously, I doubt that you're like going into like heavy duty serving a lot of people kind of stuff. It might only be like a few people, maybe the same people over and over again. So you have a chance to actually learn what kind of coffee they like and like get good at it. Um, and yeah, I don't know how to like best remember coffee per person. I just used to think when I was making it, I I'd ask what they want and I'd ask like especially if I was making a coffee with milk in it, I would be like I'd ask them like how dark to light do they like the shade of their like white coffee for instance, because some people want it really light and some people want it really dark like it's only just touching milk kind of thing. So that's an easy one. Honestly, just a few people like visitors or when I'm visiting family. Yeah. Well, if it's just like visitors or your family and stuff, like you have a really good chance to learn what they like and make a good tea or coffee, especially if like that is something that's like a responsibility that you either want to do or have to do within your family and like visitors and stuff. So yeah, I don't know. It's full screen. Hold on. Keeps losing itself. Okay. Oh man, I actually bought some tea the other day. So I realized I was out. I didn't realize we were out for so long. It was kind of like I probably had tea in winter and then I didn't top it up or anything. I didn't buy more because I didn't need it at the time. And the other night it was cold and I went to get a tea and there was no tea and I'm like, oh, I've screwed myself out of this one. What are you doing, Azula? Azula has located her donut. Hold on, let me assist her. There we go. Her donut's currently on the opposite side of the desk at the moment, and she's not okay with it because it's not where she wants it to be. But it has to be over there because I don't have space when I'm drawing. Gotcha. She looks so unsettled, and as soon as she lays down and starts smelling it, she'll know it's hers. I do have to serve food and drink sometimes, but I think doing latte art for people who like milk in their coffee would be really nice atmosphere. The other thing too is when you make a coffee for somebody, you can always ask them, like, would you like a latte? Would you like a cappuccino? Or like the different kinds of coffee. And that gives them a chance to be able to say yes or no. Because like I found that like coffee is very much same, right? Depending on like I don't know. I just found it's all very similar, right? But some people, it's literally like, some people don't like lattes because it's not quite warm enough, or a cappuccino. Cappuccino is a really good one. If somebody asks for a flat white, you can say, would you like me to make you a cappuccino? Because that still has latte art on it. It has art on it. It has coffee art on it, to be specific. But it doesn't cool down the drink as much as a latte. Because some people might say no. But I also understand also wanting to like maybe impress your friends and family and stuff like that as well. When they come over and be like, look what I can do kind of thing. Not in like a show off sort of way, but just in like a I've got this talent kind of way. That would be cool. I understand that. Kind of want this to like connect to the edge, but like underneath here, I can. Uh, they always tell me straight away, like, do you want coffee? Yes, I want it black or with milk, sugar, etc. Oh yeah. So basically, like, you know straight up, they'll tell you, which is good. You don't have to ask. Was that you're close? What to what I'm drawing or what I said? I've had it a little bit lately where I've forgotten what I've been saying as I've been drawing. What I said. That's fair. I think I want this to tuck around her hip more so. I kind of want the little gap. Give me that. Yeah, like that. I don't know how I feel about that, but we'll see. I can clean up lines and shit later. Usually I like, look what I can do. We always teach others how to do it. Yeah, that is all. I guess that's a fun bonding thing too, is if you enjoy like learning something and somebody wants to know how to do it and you could teach them and stuff. The other thing too is teaching how to do something is it's not just a matter of like learning how to do it, like learning how to teach somebody else how to do it. That shit can be hard. Like not everybody has the ability to be able to teach somebody. I'm just gonna get rid of this line. It's not that like teaching people is necessarily the hard part. It's like understanding how other people learn can sometimes be difficult, you know? Because like even like I could sometimes like say how to do something and it just goes straight over some people's heads. I might eat. I know that's one too. Oh, that's right. Oh, I don't know. The other thing too is I think that it's kind of cool sometimes when like you have a really interesting skill. It's not just something that you can just do a show when you're like out and about somewhere. That's always pretty awesome. Yeah, I think I understand how I want this line set to go. Take that back. Like that. Sometimes it's so hard to draw something from like so long ago because like I can see where all the lines and shit are, but understanding where the main lines are is not so clear to me, you know? Yeah, right. Now in the struggle is frothing the milk. In my equipment, I used a whisker and mixer That's all I really have. Yeah, there's not much more you can do with that though. Like a steaming wand, oops, a steaming wand would get you there, but like you don't have one of those. Like most of the equipment that can cause milk to froth doesn't allow it to swirl. And the only really thing you could do, and you have to make sure to be careful with this because you're dealing with hot like milk and shit, right? The only thing you could do is like get the milk to a point where it's frothing, right? And just swirl the container. Like just spin, like hold, if you can, hold like the top or the bottom or something like that and just swirl it until it's like kind of like a creamy consistency sort of thing. Like all the bubbles, there's no big bubbles, and it's like got motion to it, because then you can start to like pour and do art and shit probably with it. It's the only really way you could probably do it, because when you use a frother, a steamer thing, the steaming one goes into a cup and it forces movement in the cup itself. So, like if I was to grab a layer, like what I'm talking about is, no, don't shake it. So, say this is a cup, right? It's on the screen, and I don't know if you'd be better off holding it from like on top of it, like this, or from underneath it, holding it underneath. Depends on what kind of a container you've got, right? And then just kind of like sort of swirling it like this sort of motion so that it keeps kind of like going in a circle in your hand, right? So once it does that and you got like a good spin on it, then you could probably do latte art with it. Okay. So no up and down shaking, no side to side shaking, rotate it, like spin it. Got it? Hey, Keelan, I see you lurking. Yeah, just give that a go. Please be really careful because it is hot milk. But yeah, if you want to give that a crack and just see if that helps. The other thing too is sometimes people will put like a little drop of like dye or something like food coloring into it so you can see it mixing together. That's optional, but you can do that towards the end after you've given it a swirl and just quickly like drop a little bit in it to see that it's like the motion's going, and then pour it and see how it pours out, because the color will give you a little bit of resistance from like shape and stuff, you know. Hey Beza, welcome in. Yeah, yeah, be careful because I don't want to get hurt. Yeah, I don't want you to get hurt either, so just definitely be careful or make a mess. Yeah, that's the other thing too, is careful not to make a mess, you know. I'm sure you'll be fine. You're pretty skilled in the kitchen, so I think you'll be okay. What are you up to, Bezel? I kind of need this to be a bit thinner. Not quite that thin, but that's okay. I can still work with that. Yeah, no, that's right. Yeah, that's the only thing I could think of to probably help with like making latte art realistically. Because like it's a lot of like repetitive practice otherwise. And all I can think of is like when you do have a steaming thing, you do still have to swirl the container before pouring it in shit to get it to like make a shape kind of thing, you know? So to understand it correctly, the milk needs to be a bit frothed, and then I use the circle technique, so it should be good. Do make sure that the milk is as frothed as you want it to be, like absolutely frothy, right? No big bubbles or shit like that, like how you've been doing it already, where it's like a foam. And then circle, like do the circle technique thing, and that should get it into a motion where you can pour it into latte art. So yeah, you're good. Let's snoozing for a few hours, played some more 7 days last night with friends. We did quite a bit of progress. Oh yeah. No more dying. No more fucking direwolves and copper bros and shit. Your game is insane. I don't know what the fuck's up with yours. But yeah, geez. Get this line. Yeah. There we go. Nearly had our first blood moon. What do you mean your first blood moon? Is it because you're playing with a group now? It's not the same game that you had previously where you were getting blood moons and shit? Fill me on that one. I'm a little confused. I wanted to be really safe. I think I'll put the milk in like a jar, put a lid on it so I don't have to worry about making hand. The only problem you've got to worry about with hot goods when they're sealed is hot goods can explode when they're sealed. So, like, you could put a lid on it, but it would not be able to be shut tight. So, yeah, you got to be careful with that. Is that making a hand? I meant making a mess. Well, it's fine. You're fine, Aweber. What I'm playing with a friend is his world, not mine. So we started again this weekend, but separately my solo world is on the third blood moon. That's fair. Still, for a third blood moon, your game is nuts. I don't know what's up in your world of fucking 7 days. Crazy sauce is what it is. I don't know. Yeah, you just gotta be careful with hot goods. They can kind of explode. That's why, like, when you put something in the microwave and it has a lid on it, sometimes it can go pop, and or like the food can splatter places and stuff. And especially like when you're gonna like shake it and not shake it, like circle. What do you call it? Spin it, basically. I don't know how best to say that. When you're gonna do the thing with the milk, right? Is it could heat up while you're spinning it, like while you're circling the thing. It felt less insane this time around. Well, usually when you play with people on 7 Days to Die, the game scales up the amount of zombies you have to deal with. So I'm really surprised that it's not worse with friends for you. You know? See how I go with that bit of a shirt, but should be fine for the moment. When I play with my friend, he has it on default difficulty, so it's not as bad. That's fair. I was going to say, it had to be something with your settings, because your settings are pretty nutters. Like, it's all fun and games to, like, play with crazy settings and shit, don't get me wrong. It's part of the enjoyment of playing 7 Days to Die. But the shit that's coming into your game is, like, mental. Okay. I thought I went past it. Yeah. Oh, yeah, for anybody that hasn't been in one of my art streams before, so the music's only while I'm live, out of interest. But yeah, this is my personal playlist, just like all my music. So it's always good to like come by. Art stream's also really different, where a little bit more relaxed and I don't know. I tend to do other shit while I'm doing art. You know, our games would have had this hard of a horde night until at least 35. Night 35. 35 is about where I'm up to, I think. I think I just did night 35. I'm pretty sure. Would be done in by 1 a.m. latest at most nights for the first few. Yeah. Well, unless you have like shit go crazy like I did that time, where like they broke into the ceiling underneath me, and I ended up on top of the roof of my horde location. Or if you fall off and then you're running around and shit, then suddenly blood moon's a lot longer than it should be. Actually, that's right. You know, must be back. No, it's all right. Go for it. True. Oh man, I've got to shake out my other arm occasionally doing this. I don't know why it keeps fucking falling asleep and cramping up and shit. I'm thinking that that line up there was right to begin with. If I can tell Howls. What are you howling about, Buckin? Hopefully it's not nightmares and you're just enjoying the music. I think I'm going to get rid of this line again. Okay. I don't have my Blood Moon zombie cap count very high, so maybe it's making the entire spawn harder to compensate. I don't know. Because I've had like my spawn rate for Blood Moon, generally speaking, I only have it at 60 something times or whatever it is, right? And like I haven't had the shit that you're getting. So I'm not quite sure. Like I think that it has to be something else that's working towards it. What I have a feeling of. Like there's another line there. I thought something looked wrong. It's her shirt that's interfering with the pants. It's better to Waver and Beza, Wagon Talbly. Well, Waver's just wandered off, so they might be back later. But I'll try to let him know that you gave him a feather. Yeah, I was gonna fix up her shirt to be like in line with her pants, but it's kind of not how this one works. Happily receiving pats. No. Alright. Thank you. I like saw that out of the side of my eye and I'm like, what the fuck was that just went off? Thank you for reminding me. I go a really long time sometimes without saving compared to like how I play RimWorld. Considering how frequently I save RimWorld, you'd think I'd be a little bit more on it for this. Boops Bezel with tail. No. I think Viking wants some tickles. Demand some tickles in exchange for a feather. The new currency has been formed. For Viking. Happily looking at feather. You trying to exchange a feather, Viking? Let's head Viking to Happily. Well, what would you prefer? Right paw for um tickles, or left paw for Razor's bun? Lifts my thoughts. All right, all right. Well, I'm gonna tickle you until I can find the song. Okay. My playlist. You're getting like tickled like crazy all around your face and down your ribs. Um, all right. Well, the tickles are over, but you got Razor's Bond now, so you can dance. I was around waiting to happily and fast receiving tickles. Well, you better get up and dance quickly. I don't mind occasionally saying yes to both. That was cute. I have some of my drink too. So happy dancing to music smiles. What you doing, Azula? Phoenix up to something. Oh, the heat's not on. That's fine. Azula's here. I don't think Phoenix is. Yeah, I don't think Phoenix is here because it's cold. Well, it's not cold, but it's not warm. Where you going, sweetie? Azula's going places. Let's head to the song where I so happily dancing to music. No. This is the best part about like being here so frequently, is that you get to know what's more or less in my playlist and you can ask for it. I just had a funny thought. What I should do is I should put on the It's Not Fair for Keelan. Drive him mental. It's so funny. That way I can totally smiling. You want me to put that on to drive Keelan nuts after your song? I'll see how we go. I actually know where that is in the playlist a little bit easier. He's dancing with a tail. Like, I know I like my own music, but sometimes it plays a good playlist, you know? This will flush way happily. No. You're gonna get all of your exercise in just dancing tonight. Oops. Okay, I wish it would stop scrolling between that. Music wearing to happily snuggling, smiling, snuggling wolf plush. No. Oh, I'm glad you're enjoying it. I kind of wanted to listen to my music tonight. I had a game planned and I really just wanted to draw, which, you know, usually it's the opposite way around. And yeah, it's kind of nice to be able to get in and just draw. Also, to have the motivation and feel like I want to draw too. That doesn't always happen. Is feather for like wagon tarpling? No. What are you trying to barter for now, Viken? Or are you just giving gifts? You can always look at your feather gift if you need to. You need to, like, make me understand. And stretch my hand. Crampy. I'm not prawning, but my hand does hurt sometimes when I draw, especially for a long time. How's everyone doing? Yeah, right. I had a pretty good sleep today. It was nice. I don't usually get so lucky as to have like a good sleep. Like, normally for me, I just wake up and I feel like I haven't slept usually. It's only how it goes. So to wake up and not have something doing something was nice. And to feel like I actually rested was really nice. But yeah, apart from that, like my my left arm's like sore as shit. I don't know why. I'm guessing it's how I'm sitting. Or the fact that my microphone stands a bit in the way. Let me try to move my keyboard a little bit. There you go. Just a fraction closer. The unlock button broke last night, so I had trouble sleeping knowing if my phone runs out of charge, I have to get it repaired. I'm planning on replacing it anyway, so all I need to do is keep it on for the next couple of days, but it definitely wasn't an easy sleep. Eesh. That is stressful. Yeah, no, I can't imagine that being an easy sleep. Not at all. That's one of those things that's gonna like keep you up beyond what it should, you know? Oh, Jesus. The fucking video just blew up in my face. I was focused on my like finger lines here. And then that happened. I'm like, Jesus. Actually, put them back. They were good reference. The extra 2 to 3 hours to drift off, but I'm good now. Well, I'm glad. Glad you're right. It is a shame about your phone. And nothing much you can do. Due for replacement. That's good. Mine's getting that way. Mine's I have to restart it every couple of days because every couple of days it loses the ability to open apps, which really sucks because it's not the priority that I have right now. Like, I don't want to replace it if I don't have to, you know? But I know I'm gonna have to. I don't really get a choice at that. I'm saying happily snuggling wolf plush. No. You get your rest if you need to, Viken. You know I'll be here. Art streams are always a bit longer than the average stream. By that I mean like the average minimum is like 4 hours. So I don't talk as much. Viken knows this. Not said way entirely. The secondhand market has tripled in price since I went through phone shopping. So I may have to just suck it up and pay for a shitty phone contract. Yeah, normally when I buy a phone, I normally buy it outright, like straight up. That's why whenever I have to replace a phone, it's an annoying stress because to me, that's not. I don't often sit around with like the kind of money that's going to get me a brand new phone. Oh, for fuck's sake. Every time the song changes, it's only doing it because I'm not on the same type of playlist. Normally when I stay on like all videos or no videos, it does a little bit better. Which I flip like that. I would much rather buy one outright, but even my conservative budget, $250, will only buy me a basic garbage since I want whatever I get actually lasts more than 1 to 2 years. See, I buy my phones when I have to buy phones at Christmas time or around about Christmas time because you get a few different sales happen about then. So you get like obviously Black Friday, Cyber Monday. You get pre-Christmas sales, post-Christmas sales, New Year's sales, back to school sales. There's a lot of sales in Australia around about that time. So if I need to get a phone, I'm normally looking for a phone that's about $400 on sale, which means it's normally a $600 phone or about that, but it's discounted to a price that I can afford. And I normally keep my phones for like, well, give or take, if I can, as long as possible. But before smartphones, my phones lasted like 1 year on average because I'd always drop them or I'd drop them in a sink or something stupid. Um, Something like that. Whereas nowadays, smartphones, I'm a lot more careful with it. I get tough cases. This one I've probably had for 4 years. I'd say maybe 5. And the only reason why I need to upgrade, like the phone's fine. Physically, it's fine. But the software can't handle um, being able to open up apps and or being able to, like, some banking programs don't work on my phone now. Email has issues because the Android OS is too old. So that's all it is at this point. The original software is too old. And cap stopped working, which is my problem. Yeah. It's normally what will get people to change up, won't it? I don't know if that's the same kind of thickness as what I drew, but it's fine, I think. Maybe not. Turn you down. Let's draw this again. I think I erased that off the right layer. I'm not sure. Either way, I'll figure it out. That's not why I can force the seat suddenly will push. No. It's funny I'm waiting for Cyber Monday for that reason. Yeah. Well, hopefully you can get a good sale on it. You know? I feel like, well, this does go down to knuckle. Okay, that's a bit better. My Crunchyroll app. Oh, your Crunchyroll, you can't use it either. So, because, like, obviously, as a streamer, I've got a whole bunch of socials and shit, right? I need to be able to log in and respond when certain things are happening. If I have to restart my whole fucking phone, it's like time wasted. And like, I consider time to be a precious resource, so I don't like having to spend extra time. Mm. Dad works for a bank that has a scheme for employees to get discount goods. We'll certainly use his company discount. Nice. Too much, but better than nothing. Look, anything's better than nothing. I'll look at it. If you have access to it, you should use it. If you can use it. It's better than not using it and having to pay like full price or something. I swear I flipped this finger like twice. And I'm still not getting there with it. It's fine. Kind of want it to be more like going down like that. Yeah, that's right. More right than what I had. So that much. This battery won't be worn down yet. It'd be more expensive than refurbished options, but it'd be brand new. It's positive of planning on using it for years to come. Yeah. Like I tend to wear down the battery of my phones and shit pretty badly. Cause like I either use them and then like barely charge them to like 20% or 60%, or I get to 90% and I get impatient or I'm still using it and stuff like that. So like the mileage on my batteries for a phone is terrible. Which, you know, fair. Honestly. I don't know if I want a hand going in that direction. No. I'll keep that for the moment. I'll come back to it. Phone's currently has a battery life of around 4 hours if used constantly after charge. It's pretty bad. Yeah, my phone battery typically could get about 4 hours. I used to use it a lot for Pokemon Go though. So I used to go and play a lot of Pokemon Go. And obviously when you're walking around constantly using it in like, you know, ambient temperatures of like Australia, and you kind of like, I don't know. I didn't like, yeah, especially in like summer was really bad. Winter wasn't too bad, but the rest of it was pretty awful for my phone. I did used to take a charger with me though. Like I got a battery backup and I just walk around with that plugged in, but that was even worse because that would basically cook my phone. So yeah, my phone has literally taken the biggest hit of usage over the years. I don't know. I did like do a lot of kilometers with Pokemon Go though, so I consider it to be worth it. But so many things.